Hey everyone, this is alexusadays, and we're continuing Python for quality assurance. Today we're going to talk about Python strings. So a string in Python is just text wrapped in quotes, either single or double quotes. Strings in Python are sequence of characters. That means each character has a position or index. Strings are one of the most important data types for QA engineers because almost everything we work with is text. URLs, messages, logs, JSON, headers, error descriptions. We'll look at how strings work, how to build messages, and how to use f-strings for clean test logging. So strings are sequences of characters. What does it mean? For example, we grab word Python and we store it in the text variable. Now, each one of those letters has an index assigned. Count starts with 0, so letter P will have index 0. Letter Y will have index 1, letter T will have index 2, and so on. Also note that strings are immutable, so you can't modify characters in place by index. You'll get a type error. Because strings are sequences, Python lets us access, measure, and slice them, which is useful when validating responses and logs. Working with characters in a string, you can access characters by index. So for example, text equals Python, we stored Python within the text variable. And then we can grab the first letter stored in the variable first. So text 0 will grab the first letter P. And then if we want to grab the last one, we can say text -1. So -1 index will always grab last character in the string. In this case, that will be n. We can also get the length of the string if we want by using the length function and pass text into it. For Python, it will be 6 characters. And we can do slicing. So we can slice from the very first character to the third. The last one is not included, so it will have characters 0, 1, and 2. For word Python, it will be PYT. And then we can grab from the third to the last and letters HON for Python, right? Using 3 and a colon. In test, we constantly build readable messages for logs, debugging, and assertions. Print command can take multiple arguments and separate them with a space. For example, we have variable status that holds value 200, and then we can do print. Status code is part of the text, and then separate by a comma, pass status variable, and as a result, we'll have status code 200 as a single line of text printed. For logs and assertions, f-strings are cleaner though. For example, we have multiple values such as method and endpoint that we need to pass. Then we can use f, letter F before the string. Then we open the string. Everything then goes inside the string in the quotes. And then in curly braces, we pass variables that get translated into text when printed out. So sending curly braces method request to curly braces endpoint will print out a sending get request to /login. Useful string operations in tests. So sometimes we need to do special operations with the strings, and we can do that by different methods or commands. For example, we can change case for case-insensitive checks. If we have capital letters, we can bring them all to the lower letters and now store the whole string in lower letters using that lower method. We can strip white spaces by .strip command. We can also split into parts on a defined delimiter. For example, we store string color, colon, space, blue. And then we can pass 2 variables at the same time, left, comma, right, and then equal to s.split. And then inside the split, you put the delimiter. In our case, it's going to be a colon and a space character, so 2 characters. And then we say to how many splits we have, and we'll say just 1 split. And we will do 1 split on the first occurrence of a semicolon or of a colon and a space. And then as a result, we will store color, the text color in the left variable, and then the text blue in the right variable. We can also replace text if we need. So for example, we stored msg equals error \n. And \n is a special combination of characters that will place the text on a new line. So if we don't want to split this log into a new line for each part of the message, instead of backslash, we can replace it, for example, with a space. And then as a result of that, when we print this message out, it comes all in one line without the new lines, just the spaces instead of them. All right, so let's take a look in the actual code. So for this code demonstration, I created a file called strings_examples. And we start with lines 2, 3, 4, and 5. So here we're just showing that string is text that is wrapped in quotes. It can be single quotes and double quotes. And then we start storing it. So on line 3, we stored login successful with double quotes in message 1. And then on line 4, we stored login successful in single quotes in message 2. And then we stored a URL on line 5. So if I run it, right click and hit run strings example, you will see that both message 1, message 2, and the URL were printed in the console right here. Now, also, if we take a look at the line 11, we can see that strings are sequences of characters, and each character has an index. Strings are immutable. You can't modify characters in place. So, for example, if I'll try to access text 0, the very first element, which is P, and assign from a capital P to a lower p, I will get a type error. But we do have index under each character. Each character in the string has an index assigned. Then we printed out text right here, and here's the text Python being printed out. Also, working with characters in a string, we can access characters by index. So for example, if we grab the very first index in the text variable, we'll get letter P printed out right here, line 25. If we want to access the last one, we can pass -1. And then on the line 26, we print it out, and you can see N is being printed because N is the last character in Python. We can grab lengths of a string if we want by using len command and pass variable inside the parentheses. And then we will get the length of the actual string inside the variable. For Python, it is 6 characters, and then we print it out on line 30. We can also slice string if we want, so slicing or creating substrings. If you slice by using first and last character, for example, 0, colon 3, it will grab the first one, the second, and the third, which is 0, 1, and 2. That will be PYT out of Python. It doesn't include the last index. Now, if you grab from the first, from this 3, and then just a colon, that means it will grab everything from the index you provided till the end of the string. In case of Python, that will be letter H, O, and N. So this is the last characters stored in the string. We can also do built-in messages for test logs, and print can take multiple arguments and separate them with a space. That's what we've been doing all the time here. So first argument would be the actual text. Then we have a comma, and then another variable is provided. And then when it's printed out, you actually get a one line with a space added. So for example, we stored status 200, and then we printed out status code, colon, comma, space status. That actually going to be printed as a whole string. But for logs and assertions, it's easier to use fstring, and it's a lot cleaner. So here we have two variables. We got method that stores get text, and we have endpoint that stores /login. So we can use fstring in the beginning of our string, and then inside the double quotes, we can actually pass in variables. So in the curly braces, we pass method, and then we pass endpoint. And then when we get the final result, we see sending get request to login. So this whole string with variables becomes one text line. some useful string operation and test. So here's a case where we want to change capital letters to lower letters. We can use it by .lower method that we attach through the dot. So message dot lower parentheses, and we can see original message had error in all capital, but when we print it out on line 54, printed out message underscore lower, colon, error, colon, invalid password. This got stored in all lower letters. We can also use strip to remove white spaces and new lines. So if we put \n, that will create a new line, but we can remove it. So for example, the row value here, let's print it out. So print row value, run it. So here's the row value, error, invalid password got printed out. And then you see there's an empty line right here. So this empty line was added by the log itself because there is, or \n. Then we can use strip method. And then when we use strip method, there are no extra spaces, like you've seen the spaces before the error right here or past the error. There are no new line. Everything gets passed and stored as a single line text now without extra spaces, without the new line character. We can also split text into part using .split method. So for example, here in the header, we have a string stored that is saying the context type that we're receiving is actually application JSON. And then somewhere in the middle, there's a colon and a space. So we can actually grab colon and the space as a separating or a value or delimiter, and then provide it inside the split method, and then see how many splits we put, how many splits we want to have, and say 1. And that means that the left side, the context type, will get stored inside the name, and then the application JSON will get stored inside the value, and the actual colon space will be disregarded. So this separator delimiter will not be stored. If I run it again and we take a look at the header name, so header name is a content type, right? It got printed out, and then the header value application JSON also got printed out. And we can replace text, and we can normalize multi-line logs using the replace command. So for example, there's a multi-line comment. Let me just print it out so we can see how it looks without replace. Okay, so multi-line error starts with error right here, and then there's \n. So then it continues in a new line. Something failed, another \n, and then check config, another line. So by using replace, we grab \n as the first value and then replace it with an empty string. There's just a space actually in here. And then when we print it out, all of the new lines got replaced by a space. You can see error space, failed space. No longer it is sending the string to the new line. Also, sometimes if you just use / by its own, let's say you want a double quote inside the text. Now this will break. It's expecting you to close quotation, right? But what if I want an actual double quote somewhere here, like that? I can just use / before it. This will be an escape character, so this will become part of the string. So the string opens here, closes here, and the escape character before the quotation just inserts it as part of the string. So now if we'll run it, we can see there's actually a double quote part of the string now. Okay. So yeah, that is it about the string. The thing that you can do if you want to practice it out is pause, and as I explain things, create a file and type it out yourself and run and see the actual output in the console. Okay. All right, so this was alexusadays with strings. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.